Oh, wait. 5, 4, 3. I'm on. Okay. So, how are you guys? Welcome back. I missed you last Tuesday, but I'm here now. And we're back with our real talks. And today we're going to talk about something super fun. It's one of my favorite topics. And I think it's going to be very informative and very helpful for anybody out there who's done Botox or fillers or who's thinking about Botox or fillers. So today's topic of discussion is all of the things that can go wrong with Botox and filler. So strap in and listen up because this will be very beneficial for you guys. So anybody who, in my opinion, is going to go under the knife or the needle, in my case, it's important to know what can go wrong. So we'll cover that today. Alrighty, so first of all, I'm going to start off with the differences between Botox and filler so that when I talk about the complications, we are aware of the, hi everyone, we are aware of the product I'm talking about. So difference between Botox, remember, is the neuromodulator or the substance that we use to relax our muscles that frown, our muscles that we have up here, our muscle up here, and our muscle around here where we have these lines, okay? Also, we can use Botox to relax our masseter muscle, our chewing muscle, and we can use Botox around the lip area to help soften these vertical smoker lines, and also to flip our lip tissue up a little bit. We can also use Botox down here where our chin has like those little dimples, okay? So things that can go wrong when using a neuromodulator or like Botox, Dysport, Jeuveau, or Xeomin, those are the ones FDA approved for the United States. The things that can go wrong with that are, and the most popular and most common is something called a Spock eyebrow. So this is where we have an over-relaxed glabellar procerus area. So this area in here, it's over-relaxed and we don't have enough relaxation in our forehead muscle to counterbalance that. So we end up with eyebrows that go boop, like up like this, like up like Spock. So most times I get the feedback that either somebody has had a Spock eyebrow before or that they don't, please don't make me walk around looking like this. So just know that is a complication, but it's easily fixed. So it's a common reaction that happens with a neuromodulator when the muscle's over-relaxed. So what we do to correct that as providers is we just relax this muscle a little bit more up here in this area, making it so that you cannot lift the brow. So that will help relax that, okay? Now, when you treat this muscle in here, it's the complication that can happen to treating this area of the forehead is the God-forsaken eyelid droop. Okay, everybody hates the eyelid droop. It's otherwise known as ptosis. It is ugly AF, is no bueno. That is basically when Botox gets into this depressor muscle and your lid goes like that. It doesn't open. So basically your lid goes like this and your eye won't open all the way. Okay, like looking like Cyclops. It looks awful. Nobody likes it. It's dreaded. As injectors, we hate seeing it. What typically happens there is an area of no-go to be safe when we're injecting neuromodulator, but oftentimes we get a little bit of, there can be a little bit of product that gets into that area, and then as it spreads in the muscle, it gets into the wrong muscle and creates a droop in the brow. So, in the lid, I'm sorry, a droop in the lid. So that is the number one most unfun complication and unsexy complication that happens with the neuromodulator. It typically cannot be corrected, but what can happen is your provider can take a look at trying to lift up, trying to kind of counterbalance the eyelid. There are eye drops that you can use that help to contract the muscle of the eye more frequently to work out the Botox faster. So when you have an eyelid droop, always make sure that you talk to your provider about it. You typically have to wait like 3 or 4 months for the Botox to be completely worn out of your system, and then that problem will be gone. So that complication resolves itself when Botox goes away. But there are things that we can do to help make Botox metabolize a little bit faster so you don't have to deal with that unsightliness for very long. Okay? Another thing that can go wrong with Botox is whenever the masseter muscle is injected. If it's injected incorrectly, you can end up with an asymmetrical smile. Also, not a happy thing to have to deal with. This incorrect injection and this incorrect injection, also when you're injecting up here, anywhere that you're potentially interfering with the muscles that control your smile, if injected improperly, will end up with some asymmetry. Hey, thank you. We love you, and thank you for stopping by and seeing our new office. Sorry, that's my ADHD kicking in. So, when this is incorrectly injected and you end up with an asymmetrical smile, there's no drops, there's no anything really that you can do to help make it work out faster. You just have to wait for the Botox to go completely away, and then you'll resume your natural symmetry of your smile. Little tips you can do is rubbing the muscle, clenching the jaw more often, like chewing gum, using a vibrating toothbrush. So all of those things can kind of help work the muscle, agitate the muscle so that it's working through the product a little bit faster. So although unsightly, also that issue is could be corrected once the Botox wears off. Okay. Another issue that you can have against popular school of thought, although unsightly and we don't like to see it, bruising is a complication, but it is a common reaction anytime we're putting a needle into somebody's tissue where there's vessels and blood. So you can definitely end up with a bruise. There's nothing that can be done to correct the bruise. Bruising tends to heal in about 4 to 7 days. You can ice the area to help the bruise heal faster. You can take arnica, which is a homeopathic over-the-counter medication that can help heal the bruising and the swelling faster. You can avoid drinking alcohol, taking Motrin or ibuprofen, aspirin, fish oils, any of the G supplements like that ginkgo biloba. Did I say that right? Ginkgo biloba. And let's see and drinking alcohol, also smoking cigarettes. All of those will delay the healing of your bruise. So if you're doing any of those things, just don't do them, and your bruise will heal just fine. So again, complications with Botox is the masseter muscle, asymmetrical smile, droopy eyelid. Nothing you can do about those but wait until the Botox wears off. If you end up with a spocky eyebrow like this, easily correctable. Don't walk around with one eyebrow popping up and this one not moving or both moving. Go see your provider. They can fix that very easily. Okay, if they tell you they cannot fix it very easily, come to your girl. I got you. Okay. Let's see. Thank you for taking the time to answer all this. You're welcome. You're welcome, Nancy. My pleasure. Let's see. Was there another question I missed? Anybody on the Facebook?
Yeah, Norma Dorso says you ladies are the best.
Am I doing it right here? No sé dónde me encuentro. Okay, sorry. I'm technologically handicapped, y'all. I'm getting there, but. Okay, so next thing we'll talk about is complications that can happen with filler. Alrighty, again, bruising. Bruising can happen anytime we do an injection with a needle. Not a complication. It's an expected response or outcome. However, we don't like it just as much as you don't like it. We hate seeing it, It breaks our hearts anytime we see somebody bruise, but it is a risk you take when you are allowing us to put a needle in your face. Okay, let's see. I have a question from Norma. You ladies are the best. I thank you, Norma. You're the best. Okay, and some more serious things that can happen with dermal filler. And the most serious of all is called the vessel occlusion. What happens when a vessel gets occluded is a little bit of product of the dermal filler goes into the vessel, prevents the vessel from carrying oxygen to the tissue, thereby basically occluding the blood flow in the vessel. And you'll have some external issues with that. You'll see some potential skin changes. Yeah, más bien, okay. Okay, I got it. You'll see some potential skin changes. You can potentially go blind. There's a lot of things that can go wrong when using dermal filler incorrectly. However, having said that, typically a vessel occlusion can be resolved if it is acted upon quickly. So if you're noticing pain that's not going away, changing of your skin color like a blanching or a whitening of your skin, a bruise that doesn't seem to be healing at all, and you're doing all the things I said to avoid, come see your provider if you're not seeing an improvement, and we can dissolve it. We can dissolve the filler with a substance called hyaluronidase, and that should recover. It will dissolve the filler, and when the filler is dissolved, you should have regular blood flow back into the vessel, and typically you can heal very quickly from that, and whatever external issues were happening tend to resolve, okay? So do not hesitate to get help and talk to your provider if you're dealing with an occlusion or a bruise that won't heal or anything like that feels weird. You know your bodies, you know what isn't right, okay? So vessel occlusion, big yikes, act on it with the quickness. Okay. Michelle Veronica, okay. I had a friend get fillers and I felt like small beads under her skin. Oh, love that question. In fact, thank you, Veronica. I was actually getting to that. So the little small beads under the skin, we can refer to as nodules or like balled up product, which is another complication that can happen with dermal filler. Depending on the type of filler used, if it's a hyaluronic acid dermal filler, nodules can be dissolved. A lot of times the nodules are benign, meaning that they're not really affecting anything other than potentially they feel annoying. Like you can feel them maybe when you're like licking around your mouth area, or maybe potentially you can feel them as you're touching your face. But if they're not always going to necessarily cause any damage except for it to be annoying. The other thing that you can do before we dissolve a nodule is that you can compress the nodule with your thumb and pointer finger. You can give it a little squeeze, a little massage, or you can, massage out where you're feeling lumpiness, and then even put a little heat on the area. And typically that nodule, which is a balled up piece of product, will just kind of come back into the tissue and it will remain a non-issue. If you've tried all those things and you still have a nodule and it's bothering you and you just don't like it, or you can see it, it can be dissolved. Dissolving is very fast, very efficient, and a great way to correct a complication that can happen with dermal filler. Now, if you're using a non-hyaluronic acid dermal filler, such as Sculptra or Radi-S, there's a couple other ones, those are the main ones, but if you're using one of those two fillers, those are a non-hyaluronic acid dermal filler, so they do not have an enzyme we can dissolve to eat the filler. So those, you have to see your provider about those. There is sometimes a little cocktail that we can do to kind of inject into the nodule and hope that the nodule will kind of dissolve away. But if always contact your provider and we can definitely help you with that, okay? Last but not least, a complication that can happen with dermal filler is migration. So migration of a product happens when a product is improperly injected or injected into the wrong plane. We have several planes in our tissue, like 4 layers without getting too technical. And depending on where the injection is occurring on your face, there is a proper way to inject dermal filler, a proper plane to get the best result. So it's important your provider knows anatomy in general, gives you a complete evaluation prior to injecting, because if you've had any surgery or prior issues, mostly surgery or scarring or anything like that, it's good to know that, because your anatomy shifts when we've had surgeries and things like that. So always be honest. Don't think that you can't get filler and that's why you're not telling them what's going on. Just be honest, because the last thing you want is a complication to happen to you because you weren't upfront with your medical history, okay? Migration can typically be dissolved also. It just kind of depends on what's happening. Most commonly, we see migration of dermal filler around the mouth area, resulting in an overfilled upper lip or duck look. That's the most common thing that we see with migration of dermal filler, okay? But it can happen anywhere that we use a dermal filler. Another area is under the eye. When we get those puffy bags after under eye filler, oftentimes the product is not in the right plane, or perhaps you have a lot of filler in there and it's just pushed itself up to the surface, okay? So I'm getting the cue to wrap it up. Look, I like to talk, I know y'all. All right, so anyway, that's it. Botox and filler, complications that can happen. With Botox complications, typically we need to wait until the Botox itself wears out. It's not the end of the world, even though it feels like it, okay? Dermal filler can be dissolved if you have a major issue, so it's not too scary, okay? So if you need any more information or you have any more questions, you can always give us a call, 713-637-9001. Hold that thought, I do have one more question. Nicole, I need to get filler under my eyes, fat settle in my cheek, a little bit scared though. Okay, it's normal to be scared, so I have somebody that's wanting to get dermal filler, eyes and cheek area, but she's a little scared. Okay, this is a very normal response to somebody wanting to try a procedure. Either you've had a bad outcome in the past or a bad situation in the past, or you've known somebody and you're just scared of needles in your face. So for any of that, we do full consultations. I'm happy to discuss with you any of your concerns. You can give us a call or schedule online on our website at facialaestheticsteam.com. And the number to call is at the bottom. If you're on Facebook, you can see that at the bottom. Oh, right here, there you go, Facebook at the bottom. And then we can give you a full consultation and answer any of your questions in person there. But there's a lot of techniques that we can use to help make it less scary and to prevent some of these complications. So it's important to go to a seasoned injector who has dealt with these situations before and knows how to help you resolve them, okay? So you are welcome. I think I got everybody. Thank you for all of the feedback today. This is one of my favorite topics to talk about because it's sensitive and not a lot of people want to know what can go wrong, and it's scary to talk about, but that's what it is. You need to know what's going to go on in your face, and you need to have an open conversation about it. So there you go. Any more questions, give me a call. Also, all week, remember, this is our grand opening week. So we are celebrating by offering 10% off on all treatments and skincare products, everything in office all week long. We do have a couple of spots left, but they're going quickly. So if anybody's interested in grabbing a hold of our already amazing prices and taking advantage of the discount, come on in. Call us at the number at the bottom or go online and book, okay? Thank you, appreciate you. Thank you for your support, thank you for your questions, and we will see each other next week. Bye.